Well, we'll figure it. Well,
Like, you're never actually saying no. You're just like,
well, that's the thing. People do say no.
I know
And
how.
the most successful people say no the most, I think, because they're
100%.
focused.
Yeah.
And being focused is saying no to everything that isn't the one thing you're doing.
So true.
That's being the absolute most focused.
Okay. We need to learn how to say no.
No. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to On Air with Sarah and Ariana. We are so excited to have you here with us back again for our 10th episode. And I swear after a few more, we're going to stop counting so diligently. But it is so fun and exciting that we're at 10.
Didn't we say that when we hit 10, we were going to... Because right now, we're kind of like, we're putting the podcast out, but we're not really like linking it to our social media. We're not telling anyone. It's not
because we're just practicing.
linked to our website. Didn't we say 10 was when we were going to start doing it? I don't know if I'm ready. Okay. Anyways, we'll think about it.
Yeah. I feel
like we're still figuring it out.
Yeah, we do seem to kind of slightly change it every time, but also I think that's just part of it. We're practicing for our future selves who are going to be so great at podcasting.
That's so true.
Future selves will just be like, I have this thought and I just said it so well. Exactly right. Out loud.
Wow. I can't wait until I do that.
Saying the exact right thing. Oh my gosh.
Wow.
Anyways, but until then, we're just going to keep going, keep moving, keep going forward. I actually heard again today that same statistic that if you're at 20, only 1% of people who start a podcast get to 20.
And we're at 10.
We're halfway there. So we're like top 2%, I guess. That must be the math.
It's got to be.
But once you're past 20, you're in the top 1% of podcasters.
That's actually kind of insane.
Yeah.
But I guess it makes sense because it is work.
It's a commitment.
And it's not like you see a reward right away. Some people never do.
Yeah.
But no, but I'm just saying it's more,
totally.
It's not like
directly
from the podcast you're selling things.
No.
Or making
or
money.
directly from the podcast you're even seeing, much of anything.
So it's a big time commitment for not like 100% revenue generating.
Yeah. So is life.
Such is life.
Such is life. Trying things out. But yeah, how's your week? What's new?
Well, just had the in-laws here for 2 weeks. Thankfully, they're amazing. So
thank goodness. I was gonna say.
Whew.
Actually, mine are pretty great too.
No, they're pretty awesome.
But 2 weeks with anyone is long.
It was fine because they help out a lot.
Oh, sweet.
And they're like super easygoing. And Josh and his dad were building the deck, which it took like way longer than they thought. But they're hard workers, Josh's parents. So
there is a level of working, I don't know what it is, like Anthony's parents have the same thing, where you're just like,
they just don't stop.
Yeah.
They have way more endurance than us.
And they just like do things and get it done. They're like, we're going to Home Depot. And then they go, and then they come back, they're like, oh, it's the wrong thing, so we're going to go back to Home Depot. I'm like, that would take me a month to do. Just because I hate that idea. First, I wouldn't want to go. But if I got the wrong thing, I'd be like, well, guess I can't do it.
Yeah, I guess I'm procrastinating this for another few weeks.
Well, I tried my best.
That is so true. Josh's parents are like that too. Like if something needs to be done, they'll just do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, whoa, in my head, that was a really big job and you just did it in 45 minutes. What?
Yeah. And now it looks so good and I can just appreciate it for so long.
Yeah, this is crazy.
Yeah. It depends on the thing, but like things like that, especially like house things, I'm just like, who cares?
Yeah.
Even though once it's done, I'm like, wow, this looks so good and I love it.
Yeah, it's really easy to procrastinate house stuff.
Yeah. Where we live, both of our neighbors are like retired and they're just like in their gardens all the time. And then I'm just like,
you're like, my garden sucks.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm bringing it back to nature. I'm helping the bees.
Yeah.
Like we like mow our lawn and everything. But like before she had like these beds of like perfectly manicured garden beds.
Yeah.
And a lot of the plants are still there, but they're just like filled in a little bit.
They're a little bit more wild, a little bit more free. So what?
A little less pruned. But I kind of like that look anyways.
Yeah.
Too pruned, I'm like, and the wild trees touch. Plants touch, bushes touch. They're not like perfectly in their own little
silo.
Spots. Yeah. So
there you go.
So that's what I think.
Your yard is au naturel.
Au naturel.
Well, all of my plants have died because the dog dug up and ate the irrigation system. And it's so freaking hot here. I'm not going to go out there and water the plants. Yeah. He did that at our last house too. I swear he can like sniff it. He sniffs the water out or something. He digs it up and then rips the line apart. So the whole backyard had irrigation.
Dogs, but I would be so sad.
Yeah.
Because irrigation's like the best.
Everything would be dead. Know.
Everything would be dead in my yard too without irrigation.
Yeah. So there's a lot of
but just where we live, like plants. The commitment for watering is actually like you literally would have to do it every day for things not to die.
Because it's so dry here. It's so hot. Like during the summer, it won't rain for months.
Yeah.
And so
everything will be dead.
You think I'm going to go outside and water every plant every day?
People do that.
Doesn't sound that bad, but I still don't do it.
Yeah.
And now they're dead.
It's hard to remember. And once they're dead, you're like, shoot. My bad.
Yeah. So I think I'm just pushing off gardening until next summer. You know?
I don't think you start gardening in the summer.
But I mean, like...
But okay.
Well, that's the first red flag that I don't know what I'm doing.
I actually don't know.
Spring? But I mean, like, I'm not going to solve the garden situation this year.
No.
I'm going to pass that off to next year.
Yeah. It'll be there waiting when you're ready.
The dead plants aren't going anywhere. They're just little steps.
They're just going to chill.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Anyways, what's new with you? How was your week?
It's been good. I've been doing my bike lessons.
Oh, yeah. Every Monday. Are you getting better?
My beginner adult woman's lessons. Yeah. I think. I don't know. And then last week we were working on cornering. And I was like, oh, I do the exact opposite of what you're supposed to do.
Wait, what's cornering?
Like just going around a corner.
Oh. But like downhill.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
Well, usually. Yeah. So the idea is you're supposed to... Anyways. It seems like, well, first I don't really know what I've been doing because I haven't really been paying attention. I've just been like trying to survive getting down the hill and being like, okay, meet you at the bottom. And then like, okay, usually if I do this, it works out.
Yeah.
But I realized that usually in the corner, I almost lean into the corner where you're supposed to do the opposite where you lean out of the corner, but your bike, like you're supposed to lean.
Oh.
Lean the opposite.
So your bike leans one way and your body leans the other.
Yeah. Because you're like,
no
like not
way.
to a huge degree, but like.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And when you watch someone do it, you're like, oh yeah, that makes perfect sense that you'd be way more balanced. How are you balanced going like this around a corner? But in your head, you're like, corner.
Yeah.
Corner.
You're like, lean into it.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like on a motorcycle, you lean into it, don't you? No.
I think, okay, well, also apparently it depends on like the type of corner and all these things. But like we were practicing like when it's most corners, I guess. So naive with biking.
The average corner.
Your average corner. Apparently berms can be different.
A what?
A berm.
What is that?
It's basically a corner that has like a wall you can go up, you know? Not a wall, but like, you know, you can go like up the side.
Oh, yeah. I know.
Anyways.
That's terrifying.
Anyways, and the one girl was like, it's like when you're what does Josh do? Snowmobiling?
Snowmobiling?
Yeah, she's like, it's just like snowmobiling, like you do this. And I was like, oh, duh. Of course.
Really? Because I tried taking a corner snowmobiling the very first time I was ever on a snowmobile. Josh was like, you drive it. And I took a corner and I rolled off of it and I fell off. And the snowmobile kept going.
Well, probably because you weren't doing the thing you're supposed to do.
He's like, lean. And I'm like, okay. And then I fell off and I rolled. The machine is heavy.
Fuck snowmobiling. It literally is.
And it was on
a
frozen lake. It's not like you were in the snow. Josh said it was a fluke because the front ski hit some like thing of ice and it popped me off. But anyway,
I'd be like, I'm never doing this again.
Corners are hard.
Anyway, that's what we learned last time. And I was like, she's like, yeah. She's like, you're doing it exactly right, except the opposite in each. Because we just went around like cones. She's like, your upper body looks good. Your elbows are doing the right thing. Everything's doing the right thing, except you're doing it at the opposite timing. And I was like, okay, great.
Okay, but now
I'll practice that. Exactly. So I've actually learned a lot of things where I'm just like, oh, it actually makes it so much easier. But lessons are great.
Wow. That's actually a really good tip.
Yeah. Like if you want to get good at something, take a lesson from a professional.
Who would have thought?
Who would've
I would have
thought?
never fucking thought it. Not in my whole life.
What a concept. I mean, you have to like
Wow.
lessons. I love a lesson.
I feel like growing up, my mom forced me into so many lessons that now I'm like,
Yeah.
you know?
It's fun if you want to do it though.
Yeah, that's
Or
true.
more fun. Yeah.
When it's like something you're actually interested in, you're not just being forced to do it.
Yeah. I was forced. Well, I wasn't forced into dance, but I took 2 dance classes and I was like crying and I was like, I'll never again. So I didn't go into the dancing, but
Yeah.
other lessons. Oh, piano was my lessons that I.
Right. Did you take horseback riding lessons?
Yeah, but I
Mhm.
loved those.
Yeah.
Those were like my favorite days.
Duh.
Because I actually liked it.
Duh.
And I still take horseback riding lessons
Yeah.
every week. It's the best. Anyways,
Oh.
but yeah, it's been fun. What's I been doing? Riding my horse, working, going outside. It's so nice here now.
I know.
It's like the perfect time of year.
It's perfect.
It's not too hot, not too cold.
Yeah.
All you need is a light
What's
jacket.
that thing what's your favorite date?
That's what I just said.
Oh, I know, but what's your favorite date?
April something.
Yeah. I would say April 5th
Yeah.
or something like that. It's not too hot. It's not too cold.
All you
Wow.
need is a light jacket. I think from like Miss Congeniality. Oh, such a good movie. That was the best movie when she walks out all hot. After getting all like her makeover.
You're like, oh, I love a good makeover movie.
90s
you know?
movies loved a good makeover.
Yeah, and you could tell she's hot even when they're trying to make her
You're like,
ugly.
ew,
and you're
she's
like,
so gross. She has glasses on.
like, ew, her hair is up in a ponytail and she has glasses and
She eats
a
meat.
flannel.
She puts ketchup on her steak.
Ew,
Gross. Yeah.
she's so ugly. Then she takes off her glasses and they put mascara on and they're like, oh my God, she's so hot.
She's like the hottest woman ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Those are good. They never get old.
No.
No.
I should watch one of those again. Some of the classics.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else did I do? Oh, and then this week I feel like I reconfirmed my decision to.
Reconfirmed. I think this is a new discovery.
Well, I've been thinking about it.
Okay.
This concept of like doing less ketchup over coffees.
Okay.
Not in a mean
Elaborate.
way. Well, I just feel like sometimes people are like, hey, we should get a coffee. We should catch up. Or, hey, what are you up to? We should go for coffee and like chat. And I have this like, I'm always like, yeah, sure, of course. And I don't know, like, I don't want to say no.
Yeah.
And also I'm like, like do know these people and they're nice.
Yeah.
And I don't, yeah. But then just like lately I've been like, this actually takes up so much time. It doesn't really do anything ever, except for the fact of being like, we still know each other, I guess.
Yeah.
And I do find it kind of like tiring. I don't know. It's not
There's
bad.
not always like a purpose. Like you're just there. You just spend a few hours just to like chit chat, which is fine.
Which is fine, but I think I've just realized like saying yes to that is me saying no to something else that I would probably rather be doing or would be more beneficial for what our goals are, what our business is doing, what I want to like. Or I could spend that time doing like one of my freaking hobbies that I already feel like I don't have time for.
Or like seeing a friend, like, you
Make
know,
a friend.
personal friend.
Exactly. And it just feels sometimes a little bit like you're like, oh, I haven't seen you in like 3 years. And we're just like both kind of catching each other up on like the randomness of our business or job or life. And it's not that it's bad, but it's just kind of nothing.
Yeah, and I think it can be beneficial, like depending on your type of business. Like if you are looking for clients or like if networking is really, really important to the success of your business.
Yeah, of course.
Then it is important to kind of like still go to these coffee dates, coffee meetups, whatever, and kind of keep in contact with people. But if your business has nothing to do with that, it's kind of a waste of time.
Yeah, I know. And I feel
like why am I spending like 3 hours of my time to entertain you?
Yeah. And I think for me, because I'm like, okay, well, I had to drive to the place because I live a little bit out of town, have the coffee, which is like very pleasant.
Yeah,
It's pleasant. It's fine. Everything's good. It's good to catch up with people. But it just is like me then being like, oh my gosh, I just spent 3 hours on that. And 3 hours once is nothing. But it's not once. It's like this person a coffee and then that person a coffee and then, hey, we should meet up or, you know, and it's just like when you put all those times together, the accumulation of coffees or drinks or meetings that you don't really need. You're just like, wow, I wasted a lot of time. that I could have spent doing something that probably would have had a way bigger impact on what I'm trying to achieve.
Yeah, like you could have spent 3 hours working on your business or spent 3 hours doing something you actually want to do, like ride your horse or do something like that.
Yeah. And people, when you meet them for coffee, they tend to, well, you're making conversation. So they're just like, remember this person or remember that, or what are you up to? And then they're like, have you tried doing this or have you thought of that? And I want to be like, yeah, of course I have. I've been obsessed with this for a year or 2 years or whatever.
This is my whole life, and
24/7 for years.
You have known a small fraction for 5 minutes.
And I know
about it.
Yeah, and I know they're not doing it to be rude. They're literally just like, oh my gosh, what a cool idea. Have you thought about this?
Yeah, they have good intentions.
Absolutely. But then I find myself to be like, oh yeah, that's a good idea. And then I'm almost trying to explain things in a way I don't even know what it is. Or maybe, okay, part of me was also thinking that maybe it's not that the type of person isn't good, but it's maybe it's because those are people who are so in the accounting world.
Yeah.
So they're just in such a different business structure,
different mindset, different outlook on what businesses look like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That when I'm kind of tell them how we're doing stuff differently, they're almost they're not against it, but they're just oh, they just don't, they're what do you mean? What? Why?
Yeah. It's not like they know that this exists and they're turned off by it. It's that they're just they've got their blinders on and they're just so in their lane that they can't really wrap their heads around something else. Another structure, another avenue to.
Well, they can, but I think I just throw them for a loop a little bit because they don't expect it, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
They're anyways, wait, what? Why aren't you doing this thing that's really proven and super awesome? And
I know, and then I feel I'm just explaining it or almost, I don't want to say defending it because it doesn't feel like an attack, but I feel I'm oh, because no, but and then we tried this and then
you're trying to not that you need to prove yourself to them, but I think it's natural to kind of feel like you need to prove yourself when someone's questioning what you're doing and they're like, oh, that's not really something that's typical.
Yeah.
It's natural for you to kind of have this this is, I don't know. Yeah. It's natural to want to prove it a little bit. And then you're like, why am I fucking proving my business idea to this fucking random that for what? Why? I don't need to prove myself to anyone, let alone you. Not that you're not a great person, but
I think, and that's my own
don't
thing.
Need their
I need
approval.
to work through probably. It's just being able to sit there and be yeah. You know?
But then what's the point of going?
Well, that's the thing. What is the point of going?
If you're not, and it's not, it sounds rude.
Yeah.
Because it's not you need to benefit from every single interaction, especially not friendships and whatever. But if you're having a business meeting, because technically that is it's business.
Yeah.
If you're having a business meeting and it's not going to benefit you, why the fuck are you going? I'm not going.
Yeah.
Unless I'm getting a benefit or a mutual benefit, or unless I'm giving something, why the fuck? For what? Why? It's a waste of my time.
Yeah.
And I know that sounds harsh, but there's only so many hours in the day.
It's so true.
And the list of things to do just keeps getting longer. And I don't want to just entertain people because.
Yeah. It's a good point. I think sometimes I'm just oh, I don't know. It just seems so normal to just say yes.
Yeah.
My instinct is to say yes.
Yeah.
Where I think it should be to say no.
Or just to be let me think. Do I want to do this? Should I do this? And then make a decision. Yeah. It doesn't always have to be no, and it doesn't always have to be yes, because sometimes those coffee meetings maybe are beneficial, depending on who they are.
Yeah. I was listening to a podcast, and this guy's, his name's Naval, and he has really good business ideas, but he bought the domain I don't do coffee. So his email's Naval at I don't do coffees. Because people, I mean, it's one thing when you're at our level. It's another thing when you're
yeah.
All you get is people being will you mentor me? Will you go for coffee? Can I pick your brain? Blah, blah, blah. That'd be crazy.
Well, can you imagine in a year when we're disgustingly rich and people are just blowing up our emails and wanting to have coffee all the time? We're going to have to learn to say no.
You're so right. Well, this is a great learning experience for me.
See, this is practice for you.
Yes.
Just like the podcast is practice for when we're obviously
doing podcasts.
Super successful.
So I can get on a stage and be I have thoughts.
I have thoughts and I say no to coffee.
I'm not the first person to come up with that, but I just thought that was so funny. That he was that into it that he literally replies from an email going, that's his name. I don't do coffee.
Well, I mean,
so funny.
And it's nice. Like, okay, I guess it's flattering when someone's like, hey, do you want to go for coffee? I'd love to pick your brain. And you're like, I get it, because like you're looking for someone who's an expert in whatever you're looking for.
Mm-hmm. And so many people have helped us.
Yeah. That's why, you know,
it is nice.
I think there's just a level. There's a balance. You can't say yes to everyone.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean you have to say no to everyone.
And I think my personality is a tendency to say yes more than no. Or like to say yes to everyone more so.
Yeah.
And I think this is like the first couple. Like I'm just being like, okay, this is not sustainable. You need to chill.
Okay, but also, how do you even say no?
I don't know. What do I say?
I just ghost people, which is like the worst thing ever. Or I'm like, oh, this week doesn't work. But then they want to reschedule. Like, how do you say like no?
I don't know, because it's one thing
hard.
if it's like a person you like really don't know, but if it's someone you kind of know or have had a relationship with or used to work with or used to do something, you know, it's like, yeah, you don't know them, but they're not a stranger either.
But you don't want to be like, no, I'm not interested.
Like, no.
You can't say that. That's horrible.
Yeah.
What do you say?
Maybe it's something more that's just like, hey, it's a really busy time of year for me, so could we do something in Q4?
Or like, we'll like rain check.
You still have to do it. Well, we'll figure it. Well,
like you're never actually saying no. You're just like,
well, that's the thing. People do say no.
I know.
And the most successful people say no the most, I think, because they're focused.
Yeah.
And being focused is saying no to everything that isn't the one thing you're doing.
So true.
That's being the absolute most focused.
Okay. We need to learn how to say no.
No.
Fuck, you got me there.
And now I don't have to do it. Okay, just kidding.
I
mean, we say no all the time.
We say no to things that don't matter, or we say no to things where it's not going to hurt someone's feelings. I think it's one.
Yeah.
I feel like you're going to like hurt their feelings by saying no. You're like rejecting them, and that is really hard to do.
Maybe it's like a people pleasing thing a little bit.
Shit.
You know what my brother-in-law does?
What?
He just goes, no thanks, I don't want to do that. To people's faces. I mean, maybe he
imagine.
People are like, oh, okay. What do you say to that? Screaming at the mic. Sorry. Anyways,
I need to move the mic away when I laugh.
I'm gonna try to do that one time.
Can
no, thank you. I don't want to do that.
Can you imagine if you're like, hey, I'd love to pick your brain, and the person's like, no, thank you, I don't want to do that. You'd be like, oh. I'd be like, well, I'll just go fuck myself. He probably says it in a really nice way.
Yeah. He probably says it even nicer than that.
Yeah, he probably says it way more chill than that.
And maybe he's only done that, like, he probably doesn't do it all the time, but.
Yeah, I think I have a tendency of just not responding or coming up with excuses.
I know, because you're trying to protect their feelings. But then, like, is it worse to not ghost, but, like, is it worse to I don't know.
I don't know either.
It is a tricky one. And obviously the different people make a difference. Mm-hmm. But it's also hard too when you're like, it's not like you're just like, ew, I don't like you, so I don't want to go for coffee.
No.
Like, I do like these people and I do want to go for coffee. I'm just like, I'm literally at capacity.
Like, I'm busy
with my life. And now instead of just being like, hey, you know what? I'm actually really busy. I can't go for coffee. Instead of saying that, I just go, oh, it's going to be easier just to say yes. But now I've wasted 3 hours in one day. That's half a day.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not quite, but that's a lot of hours.
That's a lot of time.
To do something that was nothing.
Mm-hmm. And then
when I have all these other things waiting.
Yeah.
If I had nothing else waiting, okay, fine. But
yeah, of course.
And then you're just like, oh, cool. And I have to work 3 more hours tonight because I went for coffee. And then I was just like, why did I do that? And then I was like, I knew I shouldn't have done that before I said yes. So that's the more annoying part.
So it's actually more than 3 hours because then you spent a bunch of time thinking about it and being annoyed about it. And now we're talking about it right now.
But I got content for the podcast, so maybe it was worth it.
So there you go. It's worth it for
that was just perfect. This would be so
5
boring.
Followers on YouTube.
Yeah. Exactly.
So you were like frustrated after. Did it pull you back to like that old mindset at all or no? Like that old like traditional.
I'd say a lot less so because the person like it wasn't the same as like
Other people.
or like meeting someone from like a past job or something, or
Yeah.
like from a like my past accounting job. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
but less so.
Yeah.
Not really. But it does, there's something, I want to be this like, I meditate. I'm above it all. I'm so chill. I like do my own thing and it doesn't bother me what anyone else said. Like, I want to
Yeah.
be this person, but
Me
there
too.
is something about it. And I know it shouldn't bother me, but when someone's like, oh, what? You're doing what? Why aren't you doing this? Wait, so you got a CPA and you're not doing anything with it? Even though that's not true at all. But like, and they also didn't say that.
But they said it with their eyes.
They probably didn't even say it with their eyes. But
No,
I think
probably
I'm
not.
just like weirdly, it's like I know who these people are in my life, in my past life. And then I'm like a pre-defensive.
Yeah.
Which I don't want to be. And I need to work through this and probably go back to therapy. But I'm like, why am I pre-defensive? Even though they didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm like putting it onto them that they're judging me.
Yeah.
Which they're probably fucking not.
They're,
Like, they
you're
don't
like,
give a shit about me. They're like, what's up? Cool. See you later.
It
So
is
I think
tough,
it's more
though.
that.
It is tough because,
It's my own shit. What a shock.
well, I feel like it's really, I don't know. It is tough when you're like doing something that's a little bit out of the norm or not traditional for people with our education. And people don't totally get things like that until they're super successful. And then they're like, oh, wow, that was such a great idea. And so when you're kind of trying to explain to people who are still in that traditional thing, and they're not saying they're judging you, but, and maybe they're not,
Mm-hmm.
but it's still this weird, like, I have to explain myself
Mm-hmm.
and like why I'm doing this.
And then I feel like I have to justify it. And then I feel
Yeah.
annoyed because I'm like, cool, you just took something that I'm excited about and made me defend it.
Yeah.
Even though they didn't really do that. But you know what I mean?
Yeah. But it still affects your mindset a little bit.
Also, part of me is like, I think I need to protect my own mindset and energy. And I know that I am affected by other people. And
Who
it's
isn't?
yeah, but it's like I tend to just be like, I'm getting better at it, but I tend to be, if I'm talking to someone and they have an idea, I will automatically try to think of all the reasons why that's a good idea or all the reasons why they're right. Like I'm not super critical of other people's ideas. I would think I'm getting more so just like with experience in life, but I'm always kind of like, oh, that could be a good idea because of this. Oh, maybe they're right because of this. Oh, maybe they're right and I'm wrong because of, which I think is good in the sense that you're always kind of open to learning stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're not careful, it can push you off track.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, I have a clear path. And then this outside voice comes in and it's the loudest. And suddenly I'm like, oh my God, I'm confused.
Mm-hmm.
Or like, what should I do? Or is this the right choice?
Mm-hmm.
And not that this person did that at all. But I just think it's almost just like, I need to do less coffees just to like protect, just to like not get sidetracked.
Yeah. Because it is tough when people are kind of putting their 2 cents in.
Yeah.
And they might be right about some things and they might be wrong about other things. And also you could go to coffee with someone the next day and they say the opposite or they say this other good idea. So it's like,
I know.
it's hard to kind of like listen to people and only take what resonates with you.
Yeah. But that's such a
sound
skill.
like a TikTok tarot reader.
Please.
Take what resonates with you.
Leave the rest.
And leave the rest, because otherwise, like, you're just going to be ping-ponging around because everybody has a different view based off of their experience, based off of, you know, their knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so, like, I think in the past, even with, like, our previous thing, we got ping-ponged around a lot. Because, like, someone would say something and then we're off on this track and then someone would say something else and then we're over here. And then, like, you're never actually moving forward. You're just going around in circles all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I think it is a skill to be able to listen to people
And not change your entire life.
and not change things, because
Yeah.
even if they have a good idea, it doesn't mean that you should be following it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you should be following it right now. And it doesn't mean that, like, it's priority over all of the other ideas that you have.
100%.
But it is hard.
And then I almost like have to, even if not to them, I'm almost like having to affirm to myself, like, okay, no, the reason I'm not doing what they said is because of like this, you know?
You're like justifying it to yourself.
Yeah, it's like, I guess it's part of like working through being like, okay, I don't want to do that idea.
Mhm.
But it's like, I mean, I do know that this is like a me issue, and like it would be really cool to be the type of person that could just like hear it all and just be like, no, no, no. And like, also, I don't want to shut myself off to outside ideas either.
No.
But I think just recognizing that I'm like susceptible to that quite a bit. And it's probably not what people pleasing that I've
Do you think that
gotten.
So your initial thought is always like, they're probably right and I'm probably wrong?
I think less so now. But I do think when someone's telling me something, I'm easily like, oh my God, what a great idea. That's so cool. Like, I'm just excited. And I find it easy to get excited by other people's ideas and chatting with them. And I really do like people and talking to them. But then I'm almost like, it's almost like my emotion of excitement is elevated. And so it's like, I'm not actually thinking. And then I need to like almost come down and be like, wait, what? I'm not going to do that. Or
come down from the high.
Yeah. And it's not even like this last coffee someone was like, ew, why are you doing that? You should do this at all. But it does just like, I think because I'm already so obsessed with that way of thinking, like, should we do this first or that first? This and then like, where are we trying to get? What are the steps to it? How do we, should we do, like, that's just what I'm always thinking
the
about.
order of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like what to do first. And if we do this first, then this one could go, like, I already listen to podcasts and books and things all the time that's all about that because I just find it really interesting that I think it's still interesting when people have different views of it. But I think once I'm confident in a view, I just need to like trust that that's good and not let a fucking coffee throw me off. Which is great that there's two of us.
Thing for 5 minutes.
Exactly. And which is why it's great that there's two of us because I'm like, and then I'm like, so this person said this. And you're like, no, remember we already thought about that. We're not doing that. I'm like, oh yeah. I did know that. Well, I knew that.
I think a lot of the things that you're like, oh, I've heard this thing, or they're actually things that we've already like kind of talked about.
Yeah.
But they're just like, you're almost getting confirmation.
Yeah.
From other people.
And it like
then it gets you re-excited.
Yeah, totally. And half the stuff I listen to is just to keep me in the headspace that I'm in. I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this, work hard. This is the thing. I'm going here. And then I know the people that I listen to for different things. I'm like, okay, I want to stay like really good mindset. Okay, I listen to this guy. Okay, I want to stay like super motivated and like, you can do this, like fucking commit to it. And I listen to this guy. And it's just like keeping me on track. And it's actually crazy what is available on the internet.
Yeah.
For information. It's like you're listening to these brilliant people who are not only amazing at their business, what they do, they've done all the shit they're telling you to do, they've done and been successful, and they're good at teaching. And I just get it for free.
I know. It's
but
actually really
then
cool.
It's almost now that I've listened to so much of that stuff, and I'm like, this guy literally has $1 billion company. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do?
Who the fuck are you to explain ad spend to me?
Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, I know.
If anyone tells you just spend more on ads and then you make more money, no matter what,
that they have a secret formula,
run away. It's not true. Anyways.
Yeah, it just, well, and not even like, who the fuck are you to tell me?
No, I know.
But it's more like,
yeah.
That's great that you have that opinion, but like your opinion is not the end all be all. Like you're just a person. Just like I'm just a person, just like everyone else is just a person. You're just a person.
Yeah. And if I don't want your life, why am I listening to what you say? I want this billionaire's life. So I'm going to take his advice.
So you're going to work from 5 to 5.
The other
Sarah said that today.
No, I did not say I was going to do that.
You didn't
I said that's what he does.
You didn't say you were going to, but you're like, so I just decided I need to be a morning person. This guy is a billionaire and he works from 5 to 5 every single day. I'm like, Sarah.
No, on the weekends he works 5 to 3.
Sarah, chill.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Okay, so the other thing that I think I don't like is because I think that there's actually a lot of things people say to me that I don't agree with, but I have a hard time saying that.
Like to their face?
Yeah. Okay. So I feel inauthentic in the sense that I'm like, oh, that's a good idea. Like I'm almost acting like that to like, I don't know if it's to protect their feelings. I don't know if it's just because I'm too lazy to get into it. I don't know. But it feels like I'm having an inauthentic, like this is the other side of it, inauthentic meeting with someone. Like I'm almost pandering to them to then be like, that's it. I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
When I really should just say, oh yeah, we actually thought of that and here's the reasons why we're not doing it. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it actually is something I don't agree with.
Yeah. I think it depends, honestly.
But also I'm like, what's the fucking point? Who cares?
Yeah.
Why am I going to explain all this?
I feel like it depends because sometimes if the person is literally someone in passing, or if you know it's going to take so much energy, like you already have your mindset,
Mm-hmm.
so they don't really need to see your point of view, and like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's like, okay, well, it's going to take way more energy out of me to explain it and like challenge you on this, so I'm just going to say okay. But sometimes it is good to be like, oh, well, what about that? You don't have to say it aggressively. You don't have to be like, you're wrong. Fuck you. What a stupid thing to. Oh my God, you're so fucking dumb. I hate you. You don't have to say that.
No.
Also, I think there's a way to like challenge someone without it feeling like you're challenging them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of course. How do you do it?
Well, if someone says something, you can be like, oh, well, what about this? Or like, how would that impact this? Or,
yeah,
you
just
know,
like bringing up other factors.
Yeah, like bringing up other factors that might impact.
I guess
the
I kind of did
decision.
that.
Okay.
Not that it was anything aggressive at all. That's not even what I'm saying. It's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're just like, you just leave and you're just like,
Yeah.
all right,
Mm-hmm.
cool.
Mm-hmm.
That had literally no impact, really, good or bad, on my life. Not to say everything needs to, but if I was just bored and needed to fill my day, that's one thing. But I think just knowing this about myself, that I like tend to just be like, sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Just like take a breath.
Yeah.
Take a day.
Yeah. It is hard to say no, and sometimes you're like, oh, well, maybe this coffee thing would be beneficial. Like, oh, maybe they're like, it's hard to know also beforehand whether it's going to be a waste of time or not.
Yeah.
You don't always know. Sometimes you know.
And it is nice to connect with people again, right?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Who cares though?
Who cares? Me. I think
I really don't want to, but
I think it's a good thing to care.
okay. Well, that's good.
No one asked me for coffee, so I don't know.
Oh, this isn't a problem you have?
It's amazing. Okay, to be fair, I don't know anyone. We
True.
like in my hometown, this probably would have been a problem.
Yeah.
But not here. It's
True.
great.
That's true.
That's
so funny.
Yeah.
It's not even like, it's even just like, though, like the person, because, okay, so obviously you get a lot of like cold DMs on like LinkedIn and things like that. Like to me, that's easy to ignore, but it's when there's
never
like,
answer those. I'm so sorry
No.
if you've ever messaged me on LinkedIn. I probably will never answer you just because I find it really stressful.
yeah, and there's so many, and then they're also like, I hope I'm not wasting my time. You're like, you are, obviously. This is the 5th message in a row.
Yeah. Did you see my message? Obviously, I'm not fucking answering. Like, take the hint, bro.
But there must be some people do answer. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it. Anyways,
Maybe.
but it's even things like, it's not even things that I don't want to do. Like, it's what I think the reason I'm having this, I was going to say existential crisis, but that's way too dramatic.
No,
but
say it. Let's get dramatic. I like
but
it.
it's like, because I actually do want to talk to this person.
Yeah.
And I actually do like them. And I would love to connect. Or like this thing, there's this guy kind of know through people. He's doing another company that's doing like AI for bookkeepers. And I'm like, I do want to talk to him. I think it's cool. But every time I do, I'm like anxious about, not anxious, but I'm like, oh my God, okay, I have to plan my day around this. And I think also there's something to be said of like, I don't know if it's just how different people work or their brains work, but like, I'm like, if I have a 10 a.m. meeting, I will not get a single thing done before that.
Hell no.
So I just wasted time.
Yeah.
Or if I have like a 1 p.m. meeting, I'm like, even that, it's like, there's there's this huge time before and after these quick meetings.
Agreed.
Where you can't
focus,
do like super focused work.
Agreed.
So like an 11 o'clock meeting, well, ruined half my day.
Yeah.
And I think it's just being like, okay, well, it would be cool to catch up with this person who I genuinely think is doing something sweet and is a nice person.
Mm-hmm.
Am I willing to lose half of a day for a half-hour meeting?
It's also
about nothing.
tough right now just because we are in like a very much like build phase of our business.
Yeah.
Like we have a lot of projects that are planned out over the next 6 months, and we're like really motivated to be building, creating. And so when you're taken away from that, it's one thing if you just have like a consistent business that's just like rolling and it's not like like it uses a different part of your brain, you know? Like when you're trying to be like building, creating, being innovative,
It's like that deep work.
it's like
Focus.
takes a lot of mental power. And so to then do something that's like kind of not that beneficial.
And someone's like, "Oh, what? Why are you doing that?" And you're like, "I don't fucking know." Stop
Yeah.
asking me. You're like, "Shut up." I'm like,
No.
I'm
Don't
just
ask
kidding.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is where I do feel like having another person to like just bounce ideas off of that's like on the same page as you is so helpful for me.
Oh my gosh, for
'Cause I'm
me
like,
too. It'd be so hard doing things alone.
oh,
I'd just be going in circles and I'd just be having a panic attack.
yeah.
Yeah. It is really helpful to be like, should we do this? Should I do this? Is this important? What's going on?
Yeah.
What are we doing?
Even just to have someone who's like you're not on the same wavelength, like emotions.
Like we're different people.
Yeah. Or like one day you're like, oh, like one of us could be like, oh my gosh, this is so hard and dramatic. And the other person's like, what? But then the same thing like a week later could be totally switched.
Yeah.
Just keeps you like,
that's so
more
true.
balanced.
Keeps you grounded, keeps you balanced, and it makes it feel like all of these problems that are arising maybe aren't as big as they feel in the moment.
Yeah. And you're not alone.
You're not alone.
The highs are higher and the lows are less low.
That is so true.
Yeah. And when I worked from home over COVID all by myself, I felt the exact opposite.
Oh my gosh.
The highs weren't high at all, and the lows were like devastating despair of failure.
It's so true. It's really interesting how like that social piece really like changes your perspective on the exact same situation.
Mm-hmm. It just like makes things feel like less of a big deal.
Yeah.
Usually. Depending.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Most of the time. Sometimes we ramp each other up, but all in good fun. Oh, well.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Anyways, well, yeah, that's what I decided this week. Working 5 to 5, no coffees. No, I'm just kidding.
Lots of coffee, but no coffee dates.
No coffee dates.
I don't know if do you call them coffee dates? Coffee meetings? Coffees? Meetups? Coffees.
You know what? It's not even like a meeting. It's more just like it's like there's no agenda. Like a meeting with an agenda. It's like, okay, that makes sense.
It's like, oh, this is the purpose.
But there's just like, we should just like connect and see if there's synergies.
Synergies! We should, wait, should we describe that for the listener?
That's a great business term.
Yeah, describe
Sure,
it for the listener.
I don't even know what the fuck a synergy is. No, I'm just kidding.
It's when like two things have like things in common, essentially. Like they can like work together. Like they can
be like mutually beneficial,
work together.
Yeah.
Let's see if we have any synergies. Let's circle back
to see if there's any synergies between our two businesses. I'm like, my business plan isn't to just find other people's synergies.
The fuck?
But then again, of course, that could actually be helpful. So I don't really know.
It is tough.
I think that's more so what I don't like. It's like the meeting that has no purpose. It's more just like
to catch up. Like it's a social thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I think is actually fine if we just like call it what it is.
Yeah.
It's a social thing. And if it's going to be a social thing, it needs to fit into my social time and not my work time. And then I'll be fine.
So true. So true. Just call it a coffee social.
Let's see how long this lasts.
What?
My hard stance on no coffees. We'll see how long it lasts. It's not forever. It's just for right now.
Well, yeah. It's not forever, and it doesn't mean no to everyone.
No.
It just means not a yes to everyone.
Yeah. It just means think about it before you just automatically say yes right away.
Mm-hmm.
That's more the thing I should do.
Well, it's also hard, too, because sometimes they get you when you're, like, in a social feeling, you know? Like, in the moment, you're feeling social. You're feeling fun. You're feeling, you know? You're feeling it. And then when it actually comes time to it, you're like, fuck. That happens to me quite frequently. In the moment, I'm like, yeah, let's be social. Let's do so much fun things.
And I was like, future Sarah will love this. Yeah.
Yeah.
A good, well, it's not really a trick, but like, I just try to think like, okay, but if this was tonight, would I say yes?
Oh, that's a good trick.
But sometimes I still say yes.
Yeah. That, I mean,
What can you do? Live and learn.
live and learn.
Do the things. Go to coffee. And then sometimes you go to coffee and you're like, oh my God, that was amazing. And who would have thought?
Yeah, that's true. Some of them are actually really beneficial.
And then you get too much into the universe and you're like, maybe this is meant to be that this person reached out to me and I definitely have to say yes.
You're like, why would this person reach out to me if it wasn't a sign from the universe? It doesn't make any sense.
Thought I should definitely go.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. I actually do like going out and hanging out with people.
What was that movie? There was a movie with Steve Carell. Yes Man? And he just had to say, did he have to say yes to every single thing ever? Or was it?
Wasn't it, what's his name?
You're going to have to be more
I don't
specific.
think it was Steve Carell.
It wasn't?
It was the guy from like Liar Liar. Oh.
Okay, well, either way, there was a movie where the whole movie he had to say yes to everything.
Yeah.
And he did have a great time.
Oh.
I think. Didn't he? You know what? I forget. I shouldn't have brought it up. This is what happens when you like half remember things. And
so the movie plot was just that he had to say yes and that everything was great?
Well, I don't know. I just remember him having a lot of fun. But maybe it ended.
I don't remember.
I feel like maybe I should have just shut my mouth and said nothing.
Who's the guy? What's his name? I can picture him in my mind. He's the Grinch.
Jim Carrey?
Yeah. I thought he was in Yes Man. Wow, okay, well.
Okay.
I don't know anything about movies.
Let's disregard. Do you know people who just like know movie references all the time and they just quote movies all the time?
Mm-hmm.
How do they do that?
I feel like Anthony's really good at knowing who's in stuff.
Really?
I'm like, oh, that's that actor. His name's this, and he was also in this other movie. And I'm like, I thought the two bald guys in the show were the same person for half of it. He's like, no, those are two people. And I'm like, oh. Wait, what am I watching?
Super observant. Yeah.
I'm half paying attention up to them. I'm just like, oh yeah.
Oh yeah, those are two different people.
Man, I barely watch any movies.
I'm
not good at anything sad, emotional. Like,
what did we watch the other day and I cried? Josh was making fun of me. Oh, we watched, it was some like, Josh always puts on like documentaries of like bombings and shit.
Ew.
He put on a documentary of the bombing in, this is so bad, my memory, Oklahoma? I don't know. There was a bombing and then I'm like literally crying. I'm trying to unwind after the workday and I'm crying on the couch. Like, for what? Why are we doing this?
Yeah. I would not watch that.
He was like, are you crying? I'm like, why are we watching this?
What is this? Yeah. Too sad.
Anyways. Okay. Well, that's basically our update for the week.
Thanks for listening.
Great to have you. And just say no.
Just say no.
No means no.
Not no means maybe one day or maybe next month or maybe the next week.
No doesn't mean yes.
Oh, well, I never said no. That's my first problem.
That's a hard word.
Let's go, oh my God, yeah, let's do it. See you then.
See you sometime in the future.
See you then.
I won't commit to a date, but let's just say it will happen eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah. So true. All right. Well, we'll see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.